Welcoming guys back to another scout report, and today we're back on the quarterbacks for the 2025 draft. And I know we're only a week away from the draft now, so we're at the home stretch now. This is the final week before the draft next week, so I thought I would get these last couple remaining guys I want to talk about, and then I'm gonna have a video hopefully coming up before the draft, maybe like a tier system, something like that. I'm not confirming anything yet, but it could be that. But anyway, let's talk about Drew Allar. He's a quarterback from Penn State, and let's talk about him. I'm going to give you my opinions and what I think. Where do I think Drew Allar is going to be in the round of quarterbacks for 2026? Games I saw on tape were Nevada, FIU. One great play call he did in one game was against against FIU. And it was a great call. And Devontae Rose, who's a weapon for Drew Allar last season. That was an awesome play he did. And if there's one thing I could recommend you go back and watch from Drew Allar's tape, was that I think it was like 1st and 10 from FIU against Devontae Ross. That was just such a good play call. Just good. Villanova, Oregon, UCLA, Northwestern. So let's talk about his strengths. First thing that really you look at Drew Allar, and you ultimately see he has elite physical. Again, he has that prototypical kind of size about him, and he's got a very strong arm. It allows him to have a high velocity and high velocity, and he can make tough throws into tight windows. And so that's one thing that instantly you can just see any time you watch him on tape, even including that FIU game. He's solid as a processor. He's a solid at digesting what goes on down the field and kind of understanding to an extent. He operates great for a clean pocket, from a clean pocket, and he shows great calmness and great decision making when he's clean out the pocket as well. He's not rash or overthinking it. A lot of times, I've done a lot of scout reports now, and especially in this draft class, where a lot of the quarterbacks have been very rash and just play bad football. But with Allar, especially when he's clean in the pocket, there's no rash movement there. Again, he's got a good accuracy about him and a good touch about him, especially again the FIU game with Devontae Ross. Again, he can get balls into immediate areas as well and make a real threat. He's good at, didn't get sacked much, to be honest, in Penn State last season. Managing to stay on his feet, which is a good thing. And again, he's 6'5", 235 pounds. Again, he's a really good. He's a NFL kind of built quarterback. Now I don't know about a starter, but he's very he's built to be to kind of to get you kind of built at 6'5", 235. He's built to this league, but kind of some. We'll talk about kind of his weaknesses here. First thing is what's kind of going to put a lot of people off, and that you're going to see if you've watched Drew Allar on tape, you would know that he has inconsistency on his mechanic movements, and sometimes that he has an improper sometimes his footwork is a bit mixed. Sometimes especially when he's under pressure, his footwork's just all over the place. So his mechanical movements with his footwork's mid, and that's also led to bad accuracy and just throwing low balls. And that's just one thing. I mean, if he was just better with his mechanics, he would be a lot better. Again, sometimes when he's under pressure, he doesn't process the field too well. Again, he's good when it's a clean pocket. I talked about it just a few minutes ago. He's great, but when you put him in a pressure situation, and you've got the defense going in the pocket, he struggles to avoid rapid pressure, and sometimes his eyes will drop down. And sometimes he doesn't know. He gets makes very rash decisions in the pocket, and then he forces throws to like primary targets, which he just a lot of forced throws because again he's under so much pressure inside the pocket. So again, him processing under pressure is a really big red flag. And again, sometimes in big games, like he's shown like the lack of consistency at a high level of production against, especially against like other top tier, like the rest of the Big 12. Like if he'd been when Drew Allar's been up against the Big 12 this year, the rest of the Big 12. A lot of times in those Big 12 games, he's not performed as he should have, been kind of mid, hasn't been having a high production level with his like throws and yards and stuff like that. So that is going to be that again. It's a huge concern, and I wouldn't be really drafting him so high. He does have some injury history again. In the 2020, in his last season at college, in his final season at college at Penn State, he did get injured in October of last year with an ankle injury, and he was out for quite a while. He was out for a while after that. So again, that could be again, especially you look at injury records and you look at GMs and team presidents. They look at that and like, are we going to really risk a draft pick for a guy that I know that was his first injury he had of his career, but is this going to be a recurring thing where you look at guys like Deshaun Watson? I know he had the whole thing where he wanted a happy ending, but he's had a couple of injuries in Cleveland, and the Browns are looking at that and going, yeah, that's probably one of the worst trades we've ever done. It's kind of like the same thing. Like a lot of people, and I'm going off topic here, but a lot of people I've looked at I've seen other people's mock drafts, and they've had Jordan Tyson. They've had him really high on the draft board, and I'm like, the dude's had some severe injuries. That's just no competent GM. Again, maybe like a Browns or a fucking Bears are gonna do that, whatever. But a competent GM doesn't draft Jordan Tyson top 3 or like top 10, even though he is good with his injury record. And this is kind of the same with Drew Dollar. Like they're not gonna draft him because again, Drew Dollar has a lot of red flags, like I've just talked about, with like the inconsistency with the mechanics. He doesn't process well when he down the field under pressure. He's basically non-existent when it's against fellow Big 12 opposition in college. And his accuracy on moves is kind of mid. Again, he's good at avoiding sacks, but then he'll decrease his significancy when he's throwing while moving outside the pocket. Like he's so concerned he's so concerned with not getting sacks. He's just throwing mishanded balls. Again, like I say, he struggles to process again, like I said before, the struggles to process under pressure with post snap reads. And again, even with post snap reads and like he's trying him read the game after post snaps from the defense, like he struggles to read what's going on with defense. Even though like he's been a starter for Penn State for 3 years now, so you would hope in those 3 years he would have at least understood how to like read a defense and how to really manage what's going on down there. But again, he doesn't know how to read a post snap read, even though he's been a starter for 3 years. Obviously last year, like 2020, he had a bit of like a regression because he had the injury, and also Tyler Warren got drafted, in 2025. So that was kind of a bit of a drop off. But ultimately, what do I think about Drew Dollar? I mean, again, in my opinion, I think he's a decent level backup. I wouldn't be again. If you're looking again, I've said this for the last month now. Since I've been doing these like scout reports, if you're looking for a quarterback in this draft class, it's the worst possible time. And I'm even saying that with Mendoza. So all you Raiders fans go, oh, Mendoza. Yeah, Mendoza's good, but he's the best of a bad bunch. It's like Cam Ward last year. Everyone's like, Shador Sanders. No, f- um, it's like you have Mendoza, Cam Ward, maybe a Shador to an extent, and a Jackson Dart. They're just a bad of a bad. They're just a handful of guys that can actually go at a decent level, but they're just part of a really bad crop of guys at quarterback. Like Drew Dollar's a good hand to have, but you look at really the weaknesses I've just pointed out. Would you really want this guy to be the franchise guy to actually save you and actually build something around? I wouldn't. I mean, I would have him as a backup. I mean, if Drew Dollar's a backup, he makes a good living out off of that. That's fantastic for him. But for me, um, Drew Dollar, Drew Aller, just screams like he's just like a day 3 pick, really late day 3 pick for me, and that's just that for me. He's a late day 3 pick. I don't see him going any higher. And yeah, even though the draft is a week away, I'm not too excited about it. Maybe that's just because like the draft class is so bad this year. There's some guys I do like in the draft class, like Ruben Bain, and there's Arvell Reeves, and there's Peter Woods I like. David Bailey's a good prospect, but apart from those guys I've mentioned, I'm not really too hyped about a lot of these guys. Like Malachi Lawrence I did yesterday, or the day before, he looks like a good prospect, but again, I'm not really convinced that he's going to be a starter as well. But yeah, leave you guys thoughts in the comments about this draft and what you think about really a lot of these prospects. And have fun with the video, guys.